Hi, I'm Christina, and this is NewWayz podcast. Today I have a singer, songwriter, and producer, R&B vegan, Honoré. Thank you for being here with me.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm so happy and excited and grateful that you're here with me to discuss mental health. Mm-hmm. When I asked you what kind of topic, you're like, mental health. And this can go a lot of different ways. So I'm very curious to see where it takes us, to say the least. To kick it off then, how would you define mental health?
Mental health. I mean, it's your brain. Obviously, it's your existence here on Earth. You know, it's your inner self as well too. You know, so it's a little bit of everything. You know, without the right mental capacity and the right mental state, you know, that can determine which way you're going to go in life. So hopefully, your goal is to have healthy mental awareness with your body and different things. So
yeah, kind of elaborating on that. Then, what do you think are like key components of mental health and being mentally healthy? Like, what do you feel like are aspects of that, characteristics?
Well, for sure, your environment.
Okay.
Environment has a lot to do with that because, you know, if you're living in a chaotic environment, you know, that could affect you, you know, and if you're not stable enough to like decipher, okay, I don't want to be a part of these situations, or, you know, if you want to be more positive, you know, it just really depends on what your goal is in life. But, you know, the goal would be is to be in a positive light for your mental health, so you can live and have a thriving life.
Yeah, I agree with that. That kind of goes into what I was going to essentially say about my definition of mental health in a way. Is it's so multifaceted, and we can go 100 different ways with what it means to certain people, because a healthy lifestyle is different to so many people. Where none of us are the same. But I would say my aspect on what mental health is having a quote unquote healthy or a good relationship with your emotions is one aspect of mental health that I feel like is key, is because when you do have a good understanding and a good relationship with your emotions, it's hard for you to kind of be fazed by the external world. And a lot of times, like, a toxic mental health can be influenced by your environment. So I think having a good relationship with your emotions, as well as having your own personal understanding about what this life kind of is. Because I feel like that's what a lot of people struggle with too, is their mental health suffers when they're kind of like, what's the point of all of this? Why am I here? What is going on? And we always seek meaning behind things to understand. And then that's where the rabbit hole keeps going on and on and on.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
I agree. You know, sometimes the life is just, it's a mystery sometimes. And, you know, if you're sitting here trying to figure every single thing out, you will go down that rabbit hole, and it's an ongoing thing. It'll never end, you know? So sometimes you just kind of have to just deal with things as they come, but with self-love and knowing your worth with different things, that helps. That all kinds of ties in with mental health as well. Oh, definitely.
Yes. So many questions on that. Do you have your own personal understanding then of the meaning of life? Let's get into it. I know that's such a question, but I'm like, do you have your understanding of dealing with that?
Yeah, that's a loaded one right there. But you know, when life's, you know, it's how you deal with it. How do you react to the lifing? And you know, sometimes I feel like I've prepared for every single thing, and then life has a funny way of saying, you know, nothing, you know, and then you're back to square one, and it's like, wait a minute, how did I get here? But still alive, you know, and you learn from it, and you do your best to apply it to the next situation. But I love it. I love being alive these days, you know, because it's an opportunity every day to do something good for yourself, for others. And that's how I look at it. You know, the simple things in life are the most things that you should really cherish, you know, because life is very, very complicated. And so why add to it, you know? So you try your best to kind of deal with it. Do good things for yourself. I'm a huge believer in that, you know, and just like take it day to day.
Yeah, I could not agree more with so much of that. I love how you said, you're like, the more you think you know, I always say this, the more you think you know, the less you actually know. Sure. And I know nothing. As much as I'm like, I'm educated, I do my best to stay aware of things. Nothing is linear is what I've realized. You think that you have it all together, and then the next second it's like you don't. Right. And I love how you said that you're happy to be alive and you're here, because I do love being alive. But there's even those days where I'm kind of like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
This is exhausting.
Which is true, yeah.
It's like the paradox of life. Everything is difficult, but everything's also easy. And it's like, it can get confusing. When you realize that you're going through a rough time then, because life can be so chaotic, are there certain things that you love to do for your mental health or to stay grounded here?
Yes. You know, the main thing is just to kind of like stay still sometimes. My auntie would like, just stay still. I'm like, I didn't know what that really meant, but literally staying still within the chaos of it all, because it will pass, you know. Just know that, you know, problems will come, you know, but then when you get through it and you try not to overanalyze everything and just take it step by step and, okay, how I'm going to deal with all these different problems. And, you know, a lot of it for me, it dealt with it, just doing it by myself, because I guess my life was pretty interesting, just kind of growing up the way I grew up with my parents, but, you know, dealing with a lot by myself. So reading, working out is a huge thing, you know, and being out in nature, seeing all types of colors of green. I love it. So that helps me out a lot.
Okay. I completely get that. Do you want to elaborate then? Do you mind going into your childhood?
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty wild. You know, I mean, I'm racially mixed. I'm Black, white, and Filipino. I have 5 sisters, no brothers. I'm the only one. So it's a very interesting dynamic with a lot of feminine energy. You know.
Oh, I have 3 sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
so
3 sisters.
I know a lot about women, you know, and but I'm so grateful for my sisters teaching me how to try to be a gentleman and be respectful towards women and different things of that nature. But trying to figure out myself within this world, you know, like racially, like did I identify with more of this culture, whatever. I just felt like I was an alien at time. I just didn't really feel part of anything. But as I got older, I'm like, okay, I'm the world, you know. I'm a little bit of everything, and that's my superpower. But it took a long time for me to get to that point, you know. And then, you know, just trying to find out, like, what was my voice, you know, without being too compared to my sisters, because they were very popular. I was kind of a nerdy kid, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was weird, you know. I felt like the ugly duckling. I didn't think I'd grow into myself until I got into college, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a nice journey. But looking at it all, it's like, yo, I survived it, you know. And now I'm thriving and I'm feeling great about myself. I feel like I can look at myself in the mirror and it's like, you know what, with all the imperfections of life, I'm here and I'm happy that I endured it all. And now I have a story to tell that's even more deeper, you know. It's not so surface level, you know. So when I do talk to people or I want to have podcasts or interviews, you know, like, oh, Honoré's got some things to say, you know.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. So sharing is caring.
Oh, it definitely is. And that's why I'm so big on just like raw, honest conversations and like, who cares what you're going to say? Because a lot of times if you think it's weird, if you think it's crazy, we're all weird and we're all crazy. And in a sense, we're all like living this chaotic life. You're, as much as you think I'm so isolated, a lot of times people have experienced some type or version or the same emotion in some aspect. Yeah. And who knows, just by you speaking your truth, who you can actually help. And I love how you kind of said alien in a way, because it's so funny. Even nowadays too, I have such a great friend group and I have so many people who care about me and I care about them. But to this day, I even feel like an alien sometimes. And that's okay. Also, it's like from the most unique people, we get the most unique perspectives.
That's right.
And I tell people all the time, I'm like, just because you faced adversity, no, I don't wish anybody went through any type of adversity. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, you've also been blessed with something to connect with people on a deeper level of understanding of the different realms of this world and the different experiences we can have. Yeah. It's all how you decide to look at it. Yeah. Do you want to let it defeat you, or do you want to kind of turn it into your superpower and make you more like connected with everybody and everything?
Yeah. And me finding that out just recently, honestly, maybe like 2 years ago, you know, I had a meeting with a branding specialist, and, you know, people know like I do music and everything. And he was like, well, we know you do music, but what else are you passionate about? You know, write it down, you know, and find out, you know, what are you most passionate about? And then let's meet again next week. So I wrote, like me being mixed, you know, and how my challenges were that, you know, me being vegan, and I don't drink or smoke. So it's like I feel like a unicorn out there. So either alien or unicorn.
Especially in the music world, not to generalize, but it's,
But it's great. I wouldn't have it any other way though, you know. And feeling super proud about that, because I felt like nobody cares or you know, I didn't really say what I stood for as much. But now leaning more into that makes me unique, and that's what I can those are my markets, you know. And when we met, I was like, so just finding that out, I was like, okay, cool. And it just it empowered me actually to know like, okay, this is my story, you know. So therefore, when people come to my shows or they hear my music or they want to just have a conversation, they're like, whoa, there's so many layers with this guy, and it's substance and a lot of heart and overcoming. So
yeah. So that's what management told you to do, is find out what you're passionate about.
Yes.
Okay, in order, in a way, to make you a little bit more marketable and relatable.
Yeah, because it's all about marketing.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we market this guy? Because his music is this way and blah, blah, blah. So finding that, you know, it just really set me apart.
Don't you think it's so funny, though? And I don't know if you can relate, but from a young age, we're always told to fit in.
Yes.
Right? Like, in a way, conform to the standards of the school you're in, the community you live in. Like, don't stick out. Yeah. That's what we're taught. But now over here, as a young adult and adults, they're telling you to just be yourself, and that's actually what's going to be make you the most money, for one, also make you the most marketable, as well as like your authenticity is what they're selling then. So isn't that kind of funny how as kids we're programmed to fit in?
Yes.
But then you realize later on in life that's not actually going to serve you at all.
Right. It's kind of weird because they at least some of the experience that I've had before, they're like, well, we want you to be the next Justin Bieber or the next Usher. I'm like, but then you want me to be me, so which way are we going with this, you know? But marketable wise, you know, the companies are like, well, this is what sells. So it's like, how do I grow into myself as an individual when you can keep pushing the fact that I have to dress or look like so and so? So it took a minute, but now I'm in a good area in my life, you know, as an independent artist, you know. And it's like my fans appreciate the authenticity. They appreciate the quirkiness of, I don't have to be Mr. Sexy all the time, even though R&B is my thing, but yeah, I love it, you know. So within my social media, you just see completely Honoré, like all the sides, and you know, whatever you choose to listen to or like, it's fine, but it's all me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer that authenticity is something you can't fake, and that's something that people can actually feel.
Yes.
I do believe in like energy, and I feel like this like second knowing that everybody can tell when you're faking it or when you're not. And that's why I'm like, to me, authenticity is the most marketable thing you can do, because nobody else has that. Yes. And people love unique things. If you have something nobody else can have, are you kidding me? Like, that's the most precious thing.
Yes.
So on that note, then, how do you kind of still stay true to yourself then when people are telling you be this one way, because you are in the public eye and your management was like, okay, we want you to be you, but not really? How did you address that?
You know, it's what, when we go back to the mental, you know, it's like knowing like who I am finally, you know, and being okay with that and loving myself to the point like, yo, I love all sides of me. I don't have to pick and choose anything, you know, and that gives me the strength, you know, and standing on my beliefs, you know. So I'm in this elaborate, cool Hollywood parties and with all the stars that we admire. And then there's a huge table of Coke.
Yeah, of course.
And the plethora of every substance that you could
some want. Party favors is, yeah exactly.
And I'm able to stand and like, you know, you want some Honoré? I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need that, you know, and I'm fine. And there's no judgments. You do you. And see, that's the thing that I'm most happy to talk about when it comes back to the mental state, is just knowing who you are, loving yourself, and standing firm and having your boundaries up so high and strong that it can withstand the pressures. Because it could be an actor or actress that I admire so much, and it's like if they're asking me to do something that I know I don't believe in, and for me to say, look, I appreciate you, but I'm not into that, you know. But we can still work, we can still hang, we can still party, but it's just a little different, you know, and feeling good about it. And I've walked away from a lot of different opportunities, and you know, I didn't get them, but there was always something greater, you know. And my dignity and my everything that I stand for is worth so much more than just kind of like selling out a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, especially too, because it's just like you're creating a toxic cycle, because if that's not genuinely who you are.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer you can only put up a brave face or a front for so long.
Yes.
Everything eventually comes out.
Yeah.
That's one thing I realized.
People will see through it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Nothing, that's not sustainable. And eventually that's why we do see so many people crashing out and burning, I feel like, is because they're trying to be something that they're not. Yeah. So I have two things from that. I love stories. Yes. Were you surprised then when you realized, hey, I can still be true to myself and tell somebody, hey, no, like by all means you do you, but I'm going to do me and that's not for me? Were you surprised when people were like, okay, and accepting of it while they were still doing something different, because that's something also people are like, if I don't do this, they're going to reject me. And that might be the case. But what I've realized is I'm like, we can be two completely different people, but still respect our decisions and be friends and just grow from each other still. Like, just because I don't agree with you does not mean that I dislike you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was surprising at first, but then it becomes second nature when you really jump or lean into who you really are and what you believe in. The people will understand.
Yeah.
They will feel an energy. That's the thing. It's like, they know like, yo, Honoré's coming here, and I'm no one. I'm just a little guy, but I'm coming into these situations, and it's just how you present yourself and how you communicate with love and respect and intention. Either they'll get it or they don't. If they don't, that's fine, And if I missed out on an opportunity because I stood on my beliefs, then it really wasn't for me.
I get that, yeah.
So when you see the bigger picture and you kind of understand it, it kind of guides you, When life is lifing, it's just how you react to the life,
It is.
And I'm proud of myself these days. Like finally, it took me a minute though. It wasn't an overnight situation, So I'm just really happy to be here.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I'm proud of you too, because that is, everyone says like it's such a brave thing to do. And I do agree it is until you actually get in the frequency of being yourself and you're like, oh, honey, this is so easy, because then it's a flow state.
True.
But yeah, you're right. Deconditioning and getting rid of all that like programming and those false beliefs about yourself and what you're supposed to be. It's rough.
Yeah.
Because I've been through it too. So then share that with me then. How did you go from potentially one day not being yourself to being yourself and being proud of it?
Yeah, I just think I got tired of following people, I mean, when you're in school and you see the cool popular guys getting all the girls and I'm the nerd or I'm the brother, like we like you, but you're the brother. You're in the friend zone forever. I'm like, what? So I'm trying to emulate these guys that I think are cool. And then here we are now after college, and they're not really that cool,
I've noticed that though. I don't, not to hate on any of the cool kids in high school, but I'm like, it's so funny how times change.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah. That's why I tell people all the time, you really never know. I love the underdog. I genuinely do. Cause I'm like that come up then. Oh, it's so nice and fun to watch. Yeah.
And just knowing like during school when I was trying to seek attention or if I had a crush on a girl and I would write her a note or a poem, I was that guy. And then they turned me down for the popular dudes. And now here we are in our 30s, and it's like, people are like, yo, they're like, whoa, who are you? Like, you growing up, Mr. Honoré? I'm like, well,
That's what we're kind of supposed to do.
Right?
Thank you.
I was like, well, thank you, but no thanks. I'll find someone, who really cares about me. And so it's just a lot, but I'm happy. Life is it's just the way it is, but it feels good to be Honoré these days.
Yeah. There wasn't any like concrete moments though, where you like in your heart and soul, you were just like, I can't keep doing this anymore. Like what was an influential moment in your life to stay true to who you are?
I mean, there's been a couple. I just think when, there's a couple of guys that, that I just thought they were the coolest guys and just seeing how they were going down in life. And I just stopped. I'm like, I don't want to dress like them anymore. I don't want to wear my hair like them. I was just trying to find just attention and just belonging, though. That's the thing. I wanted to belong in the cool kids club, and versus just kind of being by myself. I was, I had a few friends, but it was not like people. They see this image of me and they think like my life was just so grand, and not that it was terrible, but could have been a lot better. But just seeing that and just something clicked within me, it's like, you know what? I can only be me, and there's a Dr. Seuss. He's like, you're the only you out there, so be the best you that you can be. And it hit me, that little line. I was like, man, so let me focus on who I am. And so going on that journey to find out like, well, who am I? I have no idea. And unfortunately, my parents never really sat me down and said, you know what, son? You're this and this. And, I didn't have that. I just had to kind of emulate certain things. I had to learn from things that I read or seen on TV or movies. And I figured out like by stripping it all away and just looking at myself and being clear, like, okay, you're this kid, you kind of like music, you're shy, you believe in this, and then just building on it from there. So it was not one specific point, but somehow, some way I made it, and I'm here now.
Somehow, some way. Yes. So, I mean, you don't always have to know the path. It's like eventually you get there and one day you're kind of sitting there and you're like, how did I even get here?
Yeah, which is true. So,
So many times I'm like, what happened?
I know, right?
Yeah. But I just also want to say, like, as you were speaking and telling me a little bit about your story, I just want to applaud you also, because for me, at least, stepping into myself and really owning who I am and like also finding the people that resonate with me, I left my city. I'm from Chicago. I traveled, nursed for a little bit throughout the country, and I landed up in LA. And this is where I've met people that like really resonate with me, because it's where I was my most authentic self. But I needed that separation. And I feel like breathing a little bit and getting that separation is what helped me be like, I'm not there anymore. Because essentially a lot of us, our products are our environment. I feel like it's more difficult to change in your environment that you grew up in and that created that version of you. Yes. That's why I'm like, the fact now that you're still here in California, like pretty much, you're from Altadena, Pasadena,
Yes.
and you're still living there, and you completely did a 180 in the same environment. Like, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you notice then a shift though too from the old version versus the new version? And I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of different versions. I realized the friends that I had in Chicago, they just weren't serving me anymore. And I love them to death and I still respect them and I want nothing what's best for them. But like, I will admit I shedded a few of them moving out here and being a different person. Did you notice that in your own community then, or your environment, where you now have new friends and old friends coexisting in the same place? But you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. You know, some people are seasonal.
Yeah.
And when you realize that, you know, you try to hold on to certain relationships, and when it doesn't serve you, you know, you can keep holding on to it, but it's just like, there's no growth, there's no progression. And for me, it's about progress in life, and just really operating on a higher frequency in life. That's really important to me. And it just became super apparent, you know, that just recently, like, you know, like in the past 3 years, there's been so much growth within me personally. And when you operate on such a high level, the way you speak, you know, your interactions with people, and not that I'm better, I'm not trying to, but it's just, it's a frequency.
It's just different. That's it. Yeah.
So certain people, like the guys that I would want to be best friends or my besties back in the day, like it just wasn't going anywhere, you know? And it's like, when you want better, you do better. And there's times when you have to make that decision to change, and you're thinking like, I'm going to lose. And no, you're actually going to gain if you look at it from a different perspective. So it's just that little pivot in life. There's just so many things that we can do, but we're so kind of conditioned, like it has to be the same way. And it's like, no, it doesn't. When you close yourself off, you close yourself from opportunities. But when you're open to different things and know, like, what do you want in life, you know? And if you want to continue to still be in the same hood and doing the same thing, that's fine. That's not for me though. You know?
Yeah.
It's like when you get to travel and see different things, I've been blessed. So that opens up your heart, you know? And when you see that and you feel it, and you just like, whoa, there's a whole nother world out here. It changes your mind state.
Oh, it completely does. I'll never forget. I feel blessed where when I was in my teens, like 15, 16, my dad took me to Europe for the first time. I was so against it because I'm like, you want me to be away from my friends for 2 weeks? Are you out of your mind? Because in high school, 2 weeks seems like an eternity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that was one of the most influential things in my life, and I'm forever grateful for it. And it's something that I didn't even know that I want. I didn't want it, but I actually did. It opens up your mind to different walks of life, and people can do things, and there's other ways to exist in this world that you never knew. That's why I'm so big on like travel, expand your mind, and get out there and see what else is out there, because you never know what you actually might like or what somebody from any walk of life can teach you. But how did you then kind of transition on letting go of old people to create space for new people? And I really do love how you said, just because I'm walking away doesn't mean that I think I'm better. It doesn't mean that I don't have any like love for you. I really like how you're like, I still respect these people, as you made it very clear, but it was just time for me to move.
Yes.
Was that difficult? Did you ever meet any resistance?
Yes. Yeah. It's like, well, who do you think you are? You get
Really?
all that. Yeah. You think you're all that? You know, I was like, well, actually I do, you know, cause I want better, you know? So there's a time where it's like the humble Honoré is like, you know, but after a while, just like, what do you want? You know?
Yeah.
And we grew up very poor. I had no idea we were poor until I went to my best friend's house, you know? And so there's different things, but it's like for me personally, like, what do I want out of my life? You know, what do I want to achieve, and goals, you know? And when you're out there and you see different things, and you have a passport, it's like, whoa, you know, I never thought that I'd be doing all these different things, and I get paid to go travel, to go sing. It's the most beautifulest thing to see when people are just like so humble, and you just, it really shows you like there's a life outside of Pasadena and Altadena. But yeah, for me personally, it's like, no, I want better. You know, I want, and I know my parents would want me to be better for that. So it's just that thought in my mind, you know, and just like, yeah, I want bigger. I want to dare to dream, to have the audacity to do something different for me personally. So yeah.
For sure. Did you ever think that bigger and better was possible for you? Because I feel like so many people are like, I see these things, but it's not for me. And that's what stops.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I just never thought, you know, but once again, when you're faced with a situation and, you know, they're like, okay, you know, we want you to sing, or we want you, what are you about? And you're nervous, because I get nervous sometimes.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, well, we have an opportunity for you. And you go through those doors. And then the next thing you know, you're on a flight to Asia somewhere, you know, and it's like, how did I get here? You know? And then just like, this is amazing. And so, yeah, I mean, it's an indescribable feeling, but just to know, like, you know.
You just know that you can do better and there's something more out there.
Yeah, I've seen it, you know, or when I see other people like, yo, this dude's got an amazing car, or this, all these different things. And at first it was material, you know, of course, you know, when you're poor like me, like I had 2 pairs of pants. I had blue jeans and black jeans, and I wore those for the entire school year. Yeah. And I tried to switch it up with a little top, and I used my sister's clothes, and people like, didn't you have that blue jeans on the other? I said, no, these are different, you know? And to the point now where it's like, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm just really in a good place.
Yeah.
And just to know, like, I put in the work, you know, internally.
So you knew if you put in the work that you're like, I can't do great things.
You can do anything.
Yeah.
You can do almost anything in this world if you really sacrifice, you know, but you have to really have a commitment to your heart, commitment to you. It's not even about the people. It's not about your management. It's not about whoever. It's about what do you want, you know? And when you struggle with that answer, then, you know, you have to do some soul searching in life, you know? So, and it's not just entertainment, it's just you as a person. What type of person do you want to be in this life? You know, God forbid, if you passed away, what would people say about you? And I think about that a lot, you know, and I'm hoping they would say more good things than negative, you know? And every day, you know, we're here alive, and my mental state is clear, you know, but it takes the work. You can't just be like, oh, I'm feeling great. Like, yeah. And I have great days, and there's some days that are super opposite, but you know, you're alive, you know, and you can face it, you know, if you just take it on one day at a time.
Yeah. Every day's a new opportunity. And just because you were something yesterday doesn't mean you can't be a completely new thing today. It just takes a shift. It just takes a different thought, and it takes you acting on it.
True that.
And I really love how you're like, I hope people, when I'm gone, say I did great things. And in my mind, I'm like, there's 2 things you said that I really love. That one being like, I do hope people say great things, but in my mind too, it comes back to the knowing of who you are. I'm like, people can say things negatively about me also. And as much as I take it with a grain of salt and I do respect their opinion, I know who I am. And I know everything that I do is coming from a good intention. Yeah. And that's something nobody can actually like change in me or phase me on. So I'm like, if you don't agree with me, that's completely fine. You can say maybe I was a horrible person, but I'm like, I really genuinely know in my heart and my soul that I did the best that I could for everybody else as well as myself. That's where it's like, people are going to say whatever they want to say. Yeah. And I do believe that a lot of times it's coming from a hurt place or a place where they should do some shadow work. Yep. Yeah. That's why I'm like, you can say what you want, but I'm like, I know. Yeah. And that's enough for me. Yeah. Like, I will continue to talk till I'm blue in the face and keep doing this because I know I'm doing it for a good reason.
True that. Yeah. Yeah. And that rings so true and so much relevance lately within my career. And there's some just different changes with how I'm operating my business with certain individuals. But I know who I am, you know. Yeah. I know, and people can say, you know, and at the end of the day, the truth. I would just want them to speak the truth about me. Whether it's good or the opposite, it's fine. But, you know, in this life, we have one life, you know, and it's like, how do you want to live it? What do you want? What do you want from this? You know, so I keep going back to it because that's what I kept asking myself. Like, dude, what do you want? You know, like, okay, you're going through life, you're going to school, you're trying to figure it out. You know nothing sometimes. No one's really here to guide you. No one's going to give you anything. Yeah. For me, nobody gave me nothing. And it's like, don't matter how cute you are and all this, don't matter. Like, people are going to do what they do. So I had to rise above it and work hard to get everything that I got in my life. And it really, it helped me. It helped me understand the importance of money and responsibility. And did I fail a lot of times? Absolutely, you know. And
but it's never a fail, because did you learn something from it?
I did. You know, I was like, man, you know, I wish I could have got bailed out with my dad or my parents sometimes. But by them not doing anything, it taught me, like, it was a self, like, really hard lesson. You know, I didn't have the luxury of that. You know, 16, 17, there was no Honda Civic with the boa in the garage. You know, for me, you know, I was like, I just knew it. So I'm like, all right, I got to work 3 or 4 jobs to figure this out, and I did it. You know,
yeah.
And ever since then, I've been self-sufficient.
I love that.
Yes.
And then there's one other thing you said too, where I'm like, I just have to ask you about this now, because I say it all the time. And I feel like sometimes people don't understand. When we were talking about you moving throughout your life and going through different phases and seasons with friends, you're like, somebody said you think you're all that. And you said, yeah, I do.
Yes.
I say that all the time too. I'm just like, yes, I think that I'm a great person, and I think I'm capable of amazing things. And just because I think I'm amazing, and for lack of term, I'm the shit, does not mean that you aren't either. Yes. How did you gain that confidence to be like, yeah, I do think I'm all that? Because some people might see that as being egotistical or you're full of yourself. But I'm like, no, I just know my worth and my value. How did you harness the ability to say that loud and proud and be like, I see it as a good thing? Yeah.
I saw it when I got the car that I wanted. I saw that when I got the Jordans that I couldn't afford. You know, I saw that when I just took control a little bit of, like, this is what I want to do, you know, and I'm not taking from you or anything. And, you know, sometimes you do hear like, oh, you changed. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to change. Duh. Like, we can't be the same as we were in our teens. And as you go into your 20s and stuff, like, you're supposed to evolve, you know, but society and sometimes in my communities, you know, it's bad to change. Like, you know, I'm like, no, so you want me to stay here at this lower level, you know, frequency, you know? And they're like, what are you talking about with frequencies? Who do you think you are? I'm like, well, you know what, maybe pick up a book, you know, and find something that you can kind of latch onto. You know? This is what I latched onto. So with everything, with my living and not doing certain things, you know, the normal, what a lot of people do, it was a little awkward, you know, but I knew in my heart, like, this is not for me, you know, and having the confidence and the audacity to, like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You don't want to do all this. You don't want to, you know, I'm like, no, I really don't. And they're like, okay, you know, and then they're just like, they have nothing else to say.
No response to that, really. It's just like, how are you going to argue? It's like,
yeah.
Okay, you think, I just admitted I think that I am everything. You want to say I'm full of myself? You're right, I am, because I love myself and I think I am great. So you're right.
Yeah. Or if during those times, I didn't really understood. I just knew I wanted something different. I knew I wanted something better. I knew I deserved it, even though it just didn't feel, I didn't fully understand it. But now I'm looking back at it all, I'm like so happy that I stayed the course. Yeah. You know, and just became who I am now, and still going to evolve. So I'll change too, maybe in 2 weeks. But it's, as long as it's a progression in the right direction, I'm cool.
For sure. And I do think that everybody can have absolutely everything that they want. And I do think they're meant to be fully abundant. I think that they need to allow themselves to be that, though, because most of us are like what you said, you changed. A lot of us are scared of change. Yes. And I wonder your opinion. Where do you think that comes from? Because at the same time, when we talk about staying the same, I'm like, to me, that seems extremely boring. And then we have these people sitting in their homes every single day, like, for lack of term, like, depressed, feel like they're stuck in a rut. And I'm like, because you haven't moved. Yes. Like, you're bored all the time because you're not doing anything new and you're not growing. Yes. Yeah. So why do you think people are so scared then to move and to grow and to change?
Because it's comfortable to be.
But why? Because to me, that's uncomfortable. Sitting still, being bored, that seems extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. But certain people, they're cool with just going to work, coming home, doing the same thing, staying in their bubble in life, you know? And they don't understand that there's no growth in it, because it's just so normal. It's a rat race, you know? They're in their wheel, you know? But I'm a believer. I'm a firm believer. If you're not changing, you're choosing. So if you want to change your life, you know, and you're not doing anything about it, you're choosing. So it's like, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to have a better job, and you're complaining about it every single day. And if you're not on your own personal time putting your resumes in, looking for other places, then you're choosing to be in that place. You don't have to be there. No one's forcing you to be at these jobs. or in life, you know. So I just believe that, you know, certain people, yeah, they want to, they're safe, you know, they're in their safe zone with it. But other people that are creators or just want different, you know, we have to do something a little bit more extra to do that. So we may have to work the 9 to 5, but after this 9 to 5, I'm looking for other places. I'm doing different things, or I'm going to put some time into my passion to hopefully start my own business or do something different and not make that person money, but make me money. So it's just a mind state. Everything.
Yeah, that's something I constantly find myself checking in with myself doing, is nothing changes unless I change.
Yes.
So if I'm not happy with my situation right now and I'm not doing anything progressively moving forward to make a change, nothing's ever going to change. So like, what am I doing? Because there's no arguing with that. Yeah. It's just kind of a fact. As well as I like to tell myself too, a lot of people feel like they can only focus on one thing, and they feel like I can't do all these things in one day. Yes. But it's weird though, because I'm like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you tell yourself you can do things, you can. So every time I tell myself, you are tired, you don't have time for that chance. Yeah, I'm tired and I don't have time for it. But the second I tell myself, no, you can do it, and I start to do multiple things throughout my day, just not just focus on the one thing, but learn that I can combine both of these, and you might just have to suck it up and do the one thing that's making your dream come true. It all kind of comes together, but it's that belief that you can do it, and not that like this is going to be too difficult. Everything is difficult, but you pick your hard. You pick the hard of staying in the life that you're uncomfortable with. And by all means, some people do love their traditional 9 to 5 and they like it, but those aren't the people complaining that they want change. It's the people complaining that they want change, and it's like, okay, then you have to change.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't even talk to me if you're complaining and you haven't done anything.
But I feel like that's also the biggest act of self-love there is too, is saying that I love myself enough to give myself these opportunities and to move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Just putting an effort into anything that you want to do, you know. So yeah, I think we just, you know, me personally, I just try my best to live my authentic self. And if it inspires people, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? And if we have a conversation, let's really talk, you know, let's not be so surface all the time.
I cannot do mundane conversations. I can't.
But without being preachy though, that's the thing. A lot of people, I get it. We're all sensitive people. And I try to check myself, because it's like, look, you know, I may live a different type of lifestyle that you're maybe not really interested in or used to, but you know, if you want to talk about it and you ask me, I'll give you my opinion, you know. But right now, you know, just being a good listener, just kind of just, you know, checking in with my friends and family or strangers on the street, you know, like, yo, how you doing? You know? And smiling at people. It's just, it's for free, you know.
To me, it's the curiosity. And that's what I find as interesting conversations. It's not me trying to put my values and my beliefs onto you, but I'm curious to learn about yours. Yes. Because it helps us all like have a better understanding of each other. And that's all I aim for, is understanding. We don't have to agree. True that. But it's weird because so many people can bring new things to you even that you didn't know if you're just curious.
Yeah. And if you're open enough, you can learn something through it all. And just like, wow, okay. So we both get something out of it if we choose to.
Yeah, definitely. So to kind of wrap up then, since this mental health discussion it seems a lot about authenticity, what would be your number one word of advice for people who are looking to be more authentic?
Write down what are you passionate about? Yeah, it's the simplest things, but sometimes so hard to do. Like what, you know, because there are all these different distractions in the world. But when you strip it down and you simplify it, what are you most passionate about? And if it's 2 or 3 things, you know, then focus on those things first, you know.
Yeah.
And what motivates you? What makes your heart just like? Those are the things you should.
I say all the time, what puts my heart on fire, what sets my soul on fire. That is where I'm like, follow that.
And if it's something you seem is impossible, don't say that.
I don't believe in impossible, because people have done the impossible. Why can't you?
Yeah. So don't defeat yourself. Guys. You know, when you say, I don't think I can do it, you defeated that already. You've already set the precedence for that. So it's not going to happen. You know, if you really want to work out and you're like, well, I don't think I can do that, or I don't think the words are super powerful.
They're so powerful.
So I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, I know a whole lot about this working out thing. I want to lose. I'll do my best. I'm gonna try, you know. That's better than saying, well, I don't think I can do this. So words, but really write stuff down and make a commitment to you, because it's about you. You live in your own skin, you know, and you can't fake it. You know, you can do it for a while. But if you're living life and you're just like dreading it, there's some changes.
Everything comes to the surface. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, your body will tell you.
Yeah.
So listen to it.
I love that word of advice.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And just thank you for the amazing conversation. Genuinely.
welcome.
Yes, I am super grateful to have you here with me.
Thank you.
And I am super grateful for you guys for listening. Thank you so much. And until next time, I love you.